Hello there, good afternoon. You're welcome to GHOne on GHOne TV. I am Serwaa Amihere. Let's begin with our top stories. And coming up in the next hour, the Ghana Health Service cautions public against increase in seasonal influenza cases in the Greater Accra, the Central, the Bono and Eastern regions. Also coming up, Upper West Principal State Attorney expresses satisfaction over conviction of suspect accused in the murder of the owner of popular Serwaa Dubai Hotel, Eric Johnson, in Wa. Later in business, Ghana and World Bank deepening partnership at ongoing IMF and World Bank annual meetings to boost developments in education, health, energy, roads and agriculture. And later on the international front, body of Kenya's former Prime Minister and longtime Odinga arrives in Nairobi for state burial. We have details of these and many more coming up shortly. Do stay. You're welcome once again to GHOne on GHOne TV. I am Serwaa Amihere. The news is streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube and on X this morning. The Upper West Principal State Attorney has expressed satisfaction with the conviction of Elisha Mahama, the main accused in the murder of hotelier Eric Johnson, who was sentenced to life imprisonment by the High Court in Wa. Now, Eric Johnson, owner of the Royal Cozy Hills Hotel, popularly known as Serwaa Dubai in the Upper West region, was attacked and stabbed to death in his apartment on February 10, 2024. The prosecution informed the court that Mahama unlawfully entered Johnson's residence that night by scaling the fortified fence using a ladder. Mahama, a former human resource manager at the hotel, was dismissed for allegedly engaging in multiple sexual relationships with female staff, which disrupted hotel operations. Now, the Upper West Regional State Attorney, Said Abdul, has been providing updates on the case. He spoke earlier with Star FM.
We agree with the decision. The decision to acquit them is a decision we agree with. We saw it coming because we needed more to prove it. So, as prosecutors, we are not unhappy with it. But we are so happy that we secured the conviction in respect of the accused. The court said the girl was not the one who gave the key to him. So, the person who gave the key to him to access the room is still, or if he stole it, we wouldn't be able to tell now. But at the moment, our evidence against the girl and the security man, to be honest with you, were tenuous. When you look at them, analyze a story with the legal cap, you know that yes, there were gaps. But we gave it our luck because that's what we believe in. That this he was aided by the girlfriend because of the many calls. But apart from the call, we didn't have any other thing. Fortunately for the investigation, one of the workers, the HR at the time, who was dismissed on the 9th. From the 10th, he carried the deed. Immediately, he was picked up in Takrady. At the dawn, he left Japa, took a yellow, what they call Praja or what they call Kambu here, took it to some place, picked a taxi, right from Japa to Wa, from where he connected in the middle of the night to eventually by the next day he was in Takrady. He was there, so he was picked up and brought back to Wa, and then the fingerprint experts took his fingerprints. 10 other prints were taken, footprints and fingerprints, and their phones examined and all that, and found out that at the time that the man was killed, he was in his room. The accused person was also there. The call location put me right in the place. But initially he denied he ever had any contact with anybody in the hotel. He denied going up to the hotel. He denied being around the hotel after he was dismissed. And his girlfriend, who was the second accused, the front desk officer also denied that she had received call from him. But then when the call records came, it showed that they had extensive conversation the night at the time he was in the premises. And then the security man or the gate man opened the door for him to exit. We put 3 counts before the court. 1 count of murder, which was our main point. 2 counts of abetment. We got the murder. We did the 2 counts of abetment. But we are satisfied because our case was watertight with respect to the murder.
Let's pick your thoughts on social media on this, because from the inception of the case in 2024, it has been a matter of public interest. Mrs. Akwa is standing by with what you have to say on social media. Nanama.
Yeah, I mean, what an unfortunate reason and way to die. Our first comment is from Jonathan. The penalty should have been death. If you don't respect the rights of others to live, yours shouldn't be respected either. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed. For in the image of God he made man. Genesis 9:6. We also have Dokrugu. This hire and fire thing is evidently dangerous. We fired our driver for weed smoking. He brought 4 other people with himself to come and steal my GSR1 200. Unfortunately, the machine was heavier than they thought. They left it outside. CID caught him. We also have Kojo. See the reward of building a business and employing someone. We also have our next comment. Create a business, employ and get killed for such a reason. Charlie, this world there. And we have Kobe, who says, the moment I enter my house, the living room is locked and my gun is closer to me than my money. If there will be fire outbreak that will suffocate me inside, so be it. Not any greedy person selfishly taking my life. McHayford said, so women started all these problems. We also have Amin. Only life imprisonment. To take somebody's life and only go to jail isn't enough. Who knows? Someday some crazy president might free him if the criminal belonged to their party. Hashtag stand for capital punishment. Our next comment, if you kill someone and are found guilty that you did it, NASA, you should always be life imprisonment or 500 years. And this is what you had to say. I pray that his soul rests in perfect peace. Serwaa, back over to you.
Thank you very much. Let's do some health stories now. And the Ghana Health Service is alerting the public to an increase in seasonal influenza cases in the Greater Accra, the Central, the Bono and Eastern regions. The influenza A strains, which are H3N2 and H1N1, have been identified as part of the seasonal flu viruses in Ghana that surges during the cooler months of the year. Symptoms of the flu include sudden onset of fever, cough, sore throat, runny nose, body aches and fatigue. The service explains that the virus spreads mainly through droplets from coughing, sneezing and talking, as well as through contact with contaminated surfaces. The Ghana Health Service is advising the public to seek medical care early when flu-like symptoms develop, stay home when unwell, practice good hygiene by washing hands regularly, and use face masks in crowded areas. The service has also intensified surveillance, diagnostic testing, and public education campaigns, and is working with the Ghana Education Service to promote flu prevention measures in schools. The Ghana Health Service assures the public that all necessary measures are being taken to contain the spread and urges everyone to cooperate by adhering to preventive guidelines. Let's have a conversation on this. Eunice Jagli is the Regional Health Promotion Manager, and she joins us via Zoom for more education on this. Mrs. Jagli, thank you very much for your time. How do we differentiate between the normal respiratory diseases and these influenzas? Hello, Eunice, can you hear me? Okay, we apologize for that.
Thank you.
Eunice.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Eunice? Okay, great. I don't know if you got my question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Eunice, I can hear you. Can you?
Your question is, what is the difference between the seasonal influenza and the H3N2 and the H1N1? If I got you right.
You can answer that and then I'll ask you what I asked.
Hello?
Eunice, can you hear me? We apologize for that. Eunice Jagli is the Regional Health Promotion Manager. We'll try and rework the line and have that conversation for the purposes of education for you, so you're well informed. This is Newsroom on GHOne Television. Stay with me. I'll be back with more. Ranking member on the Parliament's Communications Committee, Matthew Nyindam, has accused Communications Minister Sam George of contradicting himself in his explanation of the Airtel-Tigo deal. Speaking earlier with me on GH Today, Mr. Nyindam said there are several inconsistencies in the minister's communication regarding the details of the transaction.
You talk about the merger. I'm sure that in one of the public statements that the minister made, he said there was going to be a merger between AT and Telecel. Public statement. There is another public statement that he says there is no merger between Telecel and AT. You see the contradiction there. But our challenge is this. AT is 100% shareholding for government. And fortunately for Honorable Sam George, he's been on the committee for a very long time. It got to a time that he was then the deputy ranking member of the committee. And he's been very vocal when it comes to AT matters. He's been very much aware, and he's been on the predecessor, Osler, that look, AT has no problem when it comes to expertise. When it comes to the technical know-how, AT don't have any problem. But the biggest problem of AT is capital injection. We need a strategic partner that will come and hold AT and make AT viable. That's all. And if that happens, AT is going to be the second largest telecommunication sector in Ghana, which we all agree.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Yendi, Al-Hassan Abdul Fattah, has defended the Minister for Communications over his handling of the Airtel-Tigo deal. He says the minister has not acted out of line and is only taking a different approach to achieve better outcomes. He also spoke with me earlier on GH Today.
At the time government acquired total ownership of AT market share was 25.8%. Now, having acquired it, by the time MPP was leaving office, it had come down from 25.8% to 7%. Now, this is a situation that you would not sit down and allow things to continue that way. So it was prudent on him to take drastic measures. So initially he thought the process you started could rescue the situation. But having traveled along that route for some time, he realized that no, it wasn't the best way out. So he had to reinvent the wheel. And that was why he changed the route. And it's not out of place. As a minister, to take this path and having realized that is leading you nowhere, you decide to change another route because your duty is to save the investment and the infrastructure that we have.
Former First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu, has questioned the commitment of the Mahama administration in dealing with the illegal mining menace. According to the former Bekwai MP, there is currently no fight against Galamsey, contrary to claims by the government. The government has launched a number of initiatives, including Blue Water Guards and NIMO's task force against the menace. But speaking to our parliamentary correspondent, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, Joe Wise argued that the situation has worsened, citing his cocoa farm, which has been completely taken over by illegal miners in Bekwai.
So far, I haven't seen any fight. My constituency is next door to one of the busiest in terms of Galamsey. My own personal cocoa farm, I visited there about 2 weeks ago. And I've never seen as much devastation before. The last time I was there was about a year ago. And when I went back recently, it has like quadrupled. Every space along the route is mined. I don't see absolutely no activity of anybody preventing or stopping anybody. Absolutely nothing happening, at least in the areas where nothing happening. Sometimes I find it funny for those of us sitting in and around Accra and theorizing. I think they should go into the ground, visit the places. I encourage everybody to take the route. There's a place, Bekwai or Anyan Kwanta Bus Road, get to Amponya Junction, just take that route through to here, 14 mile 40 and things. And after that, if the person thinks that anything is happening, he should just come and announce it.
You're still watching Newsroom here on GHOne Television. Let's take you back to that earlier case. On the Ghana Health Service alert on the influenza in town, Eunice Jagli joins me on phone now. Hopefully she can hear me now. Mrs. Jagli, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully you can hear me this time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Great. I think it's better. Now tell us, how do we differentiate between these influenza cases and other respiratory issues? Because many people suffer from cold, flu, and the rest. How do we know that we are supposed to be taking care of these influenza cases rather?
Thank you. And good afternoon to your cherished viewers. In fact, for many conditions, we have similar symptoms. So it is advisable for everyone who experiences these symptoms that we have been outlined in the press statement released by the Ghana Health Service to visit the nearest facility for the needed laboratory test, diagnosis, and management. It is not for the individual to be able to differentiate between hot influenza or seasonal virus outbreak that is affecting the person. And it's not only limited to influenza or flu, but for all health conditions, we have similar symptoms. So the best way to diagnose is to go to the nearest facility. And the Ghana Health Service has all it takes to help diagnose and give you the best of treatment. Thank you.
Which group then are most vulnerable?
Thank you. Health conditions are worsened by your immune system. If you have weak immune system, then your situation will be serious. So just like any other condition, those who have conditions that have already affected their immunity will definitely have the highest impact. Children under 5 years, we know they are lower in immunity because of their exposure to so many things. And this time, when you look at people who are crowded, like those in office, those in the classroom, of spreading the virus. In the first place, we understand that this virus is spread through droplets from an infected person. And if the person sneezes, the person coughs, or is talking, the droplets, if it comes to contact with any other person, to the right into the body fluid, the person exposed can easily pick up the condition. So as I speak, I would say we are all at risk because we go to church, we go to market, we go to school. So the need for us to protect ourselves is the key to go. And the personal and environmental hygiene has helped a lot and will help in this situation as well. So we're washing our hands frequently after touching surfaces, opening your car doors, and sitting in trotro. Our sanitizers are there. rubbing it on our hand and making sure it dries before we touch any other thing will go a long way to help us. And ensuring that we wear the mask and also the cough etiquette for those who are coughing and sneezing will also be very helpful for us to break the spread of the condition. And these things we know are seasonal. It takes you and I to break the chain of strength. So we have to be very conscious about our personal hygiene, our environmental hygiene, and then ensure that we protect ourselves and those around us. It's time we go back to the mask wearing, which was abandoned because we thought COVID is gone. And it's not only protection against COVID. So we all have to work together. Parents should buy masks for their children to take to school and ensure they wear it. They themselves should show example by wearing the mask, especially people who are having symptoms should do well to wear the mask to help protect their loved ones around them. It's very important. The spread is so much. I know a lot of people can attest to the fact that they are seeing cases in their home and their offices or workplaces. Thank you.
Thank you very much for speaking with us. Eunice Jadley is a Regional Health Promotion Officer with the Ghana Health Service. Let's still stay on health. And health experts are warning of a growing crisis among Ghana's youth for the misuse of emergency contraceptives. A public health nurse at the Pentecost Hospital in Medina, Letitia Gajikbe, is sounding the alarm on the dangers of turning emergency contraception into a routine habit.
In a society where conversations about sex are still often controversial, many young people are quietly turning to emergency contraceptives as a go-to solution after unprotected sex. Health professionals say what's meant to be an emergency measure is now being dangerously misused.
They take it anytime they have sex. The misuse of it can lead you to so many things like breast cancer. It can also block your tubes. It can have a lot of effect on your reproductive organs. Giving birth becomes a problem. A lot of women are dying out of it. Experts say misuse of these drugs can lead to infertility, hormonal imbalance, and even life-threatening cancers. According to Letitia, safe sex and proper family planning, not shortcuts, remain the best protection. If they want to do family planning, they should do the routine family planning and not to rely on the emergency. The routine one, check your medical history, your surgical history, and make sure they give you what is good for you, that suits your person. Manufacturers recommend that such pills be taken sparingly, in some cases no more than twice in a woman's reproductive lifetime. But in Ghana, some women admit to taking them several times a month, unaware of the damage they may be doing to their bodies. When I talk about reproductive age, I mean from the day you started your menses up to 35 or when you get to your menopause. But people abuse it in such a way that they take it every day. That is where the problem lies. With the right guidance and responsible choices, Letitia believes education, not fear, will help young women make informed choices about their reproductive health, protect their health and their future.
The Deputy Minister for Health, Dr. Grace Ayensu-Dankwa, has revealed that government is working on a comprehensive eye care policy aimed at improving support for patients with visual impairment, a policy she says will complement the existing Mahama Care project. Speaking during the commencement of the 4th training mission of the Obis Flying Eye Hospital, a non-profit mobile teaching hospital focused on preventing and treating avoidable blindness worldwide, Dr. Grace Ayensu-Dankwa lauded the initiative and called for more collaboration to strengthen the country's eye care system through advanced surgical training and capacity building. There's more.
The Obis Flying Eye Hospital, a state-of-the-art mobile teaching hospital aboard an aircraft, is in the country for a 3-week mission from October 13 to 31. The initiative is training about 115 eye care professionals from 23 hospitals nationwide, enhancing their practical skills in advanced eye care. At the commencement of the 4th training mission, Deputy Minister of Health, Professor Dr. Grace Ayensu-Dankwa, praised the program and announced that the government is working on a comprehensive eye care policy to better support patients with vision conditions. She noted the policy will complement the existing Mahama Care project.
Sometimes one of the first manifestations of diabetes is we see it from the eye, is the eye manifestations. So if we can really take care of that, then it would tie into our Mahama Cares, which is the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which is for people with non-communicable diseases. 40% of all mortalities in Ghana is from non-communicable diseases. So having a good plan for the eye, people who do eye screening or eye care, before it even becomes a problem, and when they develop a problem, that we have a policy that will help them in terms of even the funding of their eye problems. I think that will be perfect along the line. So we're working on something like that. Once it is finished, we will let all of you know. But we're still putting the stakeholders together and the policies in the making.
Addressing the media, Country Director of Orbis Ghana, Adolphe Olenu, urged government to expedite the implementation of a national eye care policy to bridge funding and support gaps in the country's eye health system.
As a country, it would be very helpful for us to have the national eye health policy finalized and then implemented. That would be the first step for us to do, and that also gives us a very good framework for organizations like us to come in and then support with the government's initiative and an agenda. Again, also we, as Dr. Bo mentioned, we also have challenges with inadequate numbers of trained ophthalmic personnel. So again, with government support and then other support coming in from organizations like us, we're also continuing to help address some of these challenges with human resources.
According to Orbis Ghana, this year's Flying Eye Hospital mission is unique, as training will be conducted in 2 cities, Accra and Kumasi, to expand its impacts and reach more eye care professionals across the country.
The president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Perpetual Ofori Ampofo, is encouraging health sector workers to take charge of their financial future by enrolling in Tier 3 pension schemes. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 3rd Annual General Meeting of the Health Sector Occupational Pension Scheme, she emphasized the critical importance of pension literacy and proactive retirement planning, particularly among healthcare professionals. Her call comes at a time when voluntary pension scheme penetration in Ghana remains relatively low, with many workers, especially in the informal sector, facing uncertain financial futures due to limited contributions beyond the mandatory Tier 1 and Tier 2 schemes.
Back and think that your pension is being managed and that is it. You must understand what is happening with pensions. There have been pension reforms up to about 15 years now. What it means is that when it comes to your Tier 1, it's still with a slit, but that is for your monthly pension when you go on retirement. Tier 2 pension for health workers is the health sector occupational pension scheme where you receive your lump sum. And then we have Tier 3, which is voluntary. Most organizations have it. And it's also an additional means to have some pension contribution aside for your own pension. One thing you must know is that personal pension is also viable. You can go into your own personal pension and put money aside for your pension. It's not every day that you are going to be able to work. There can be eventualities, sickness, accidents, and all of that. Now is the time when you have the energy and the health to work. Put money aside for your retirement. Very important.
A heavy downpour has severely damaged the dormitory block, some classrooms and the dining hall at Adankwamine Senior High School in the Asin South District of the Central Region. As a result, first-year students who are expected to report to the school soon may have to sleep in classrooms. There's more in the following report.
The rain damage has forced students to find alternative shelter on campus. Many are currently stranded and are struggling to find comfortable sleeping arrangements, with some already using classrooms as makeshift dormitories. In an interview with GHOne News' Jan, John and Tim Fojo, MP for Asin South and former Deputy Minister of Education, who recently visited the school, pledging his support to secure temporary accommodation for the incoming first-year students. He reassured parents that academic activities will continue despite the challenges and urged them not to hesitate in sending their wards to the school. He appealed to the government, particularly the Minister of Education and the Get Fund Administrator, to provide support for building permanent dormitory, classroom and dining hall blocks to create a conducive learning environment.
We need the urgent intervention of the government, Minister for Education, Get Fund Administrator, to ensure that they support us with an emergency construction of a classroom block, at the same time an emergency construction of a dining hall that will be able to solve the situation. But temporarily, together with stakeholders, Nananom and all stakeholders, District Director of Education, we have been able to make temporary arrangement for classrooms, temporary place for dining, temporary place for every student to be accommodated. We've come to the campus, we've ensured there's some works even ongoing, and so every student must be assured, every parent whose ward has been posted to Adankwama SHS must be assured that come 18th October, when your ward reports there is a decent place where they are going to be temporarily accommodated, notwithstanding the devastation we've seen to the classroom block, the dining and some parts of the dormitory.
Education Director of Asin South District, Isaac Opoku-Nkum, echoed the call for government assistance in constructing permanent structures for the school, highlighting the difficulties faced by students at the school. Mr. Opoku-Nkum assured parents that the school is doing its best to accommodate the incoming first-year students and appealed to them to remain patient as they resolve the situation.
We are just appealing to all and sundry, all stakeholders, particularly government, to come to our aid so that we can conveniently and comfortably accommodate these our learners. In fact, this school is a school that we are proud of, a high performing school in terms of academics, but when it comes to the facility, we need more. We need to do more so that the students, the learners can learn in a very decent and a comfortable environment. So we are appealing to everybody to come to our aid. It's very urgent.
Let's bring you the latest in the world of business.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Ghana and the World Bank have strengthened their partnership at the ongoing IMF World Bank annual meetings to accelerate the country's sustainable growth and development agenda. Finance Minister Dr. Kaysel Atto-Forsyth held a high-level meeting with the World Bank Group President Ajay Banga in Washington, D.C. to deepen cooperation and unlock new opportunities for Ghana's economic transformation. The discussions focused on scaling up support for both ongoing World Bank finance projects and new initiatives in key priority sectors. Dr. Forsyth and Mr. Banga agreed to prioritize 5 strategic areas where enhanced World Bank support will have the greatest impact on education, health, energy, roads, and agriculture. According to Dr. Forsyth, these sectors are central to Ghana's medium to long-term growth strategy and will serve as the foundation for future collaboration with the World Bank. My colleague Emmanuel Ejabing is currently in Washington, D.C. and joins me live on Zoom. Emmanuel, thank you very much for your time. What can you report? It's good to see you, by the way.
It's good to see you, Serwaa, and to Washington, D.C. Just behind me is the HQ2 of the International Monetary Fund. As actually rightly mentioned, the World Bank President and Dr. Kaysel Atto-Forsyth met yesterday, and it was a high-level agreement. Already, the World Bank spent some $500 million annually in Ghana. And so just before you came to the story, you were discussing matters of education. We have all come to terms with the fact that there is much more needed investment in that particular sector. And so the increased support from the World Bank will help ensure that we are seeing a major uplift to education as well when it comes to roads. Quite recently, the construction chamber was raising concern about some money owed to them. So the increased support as well goes in to support that particular sector. A fantastic job being done by the Energy Ministry so far. Many people are saying that the lights are still on. And so the increased support from the World Bank will as well head towards ensuring that our lights are still on and we move towards a more renewable energy, and in our energy mix we have some sustainability over them. As well, the meeting so far, Finance Minister Dr. Kasila Tuposin has been meeting a number of people. On Monday, he met with the AFDB, a regional bloc, where we had meetings with Algeria, Liberia, and they touted Ghana's gold board as a model to showing economic liberation. As we stand as it stands now, this morning, gold prices have edged past $4,200 per metric ton. If you match that against the 7 tons that Bank of Ghana holds in its board, it means a huge amount of money is backing our CDN. So that's why you are seeing some really relaxed depreciation when it comes to the city. Now, the city is no longer falling on the back of the Bank of Ghana's increased liquidity inflow in the forex market. And towards the end of the meetings that we are seeing, we are today Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, we are ending the meetings. Now, we are expecting that the Bank of Ghana tomorrow, the governor will be speaking at the governor talks, where will give us some updates as to what the Bank of Ghana's monetary policy stance really is. That's why we are expecting some final conclusion meetings from Dr. Kasela Tuposin. Yesterday, the Agric Minister, Deputy Agric Minister John Dumelu as well had a few meetings at the Agric session. And so that's what we have been up to largely here at the IMF HQ2 in Washington, D.C.
Beyond this, what has the Ghana delegation been up to?
Yeah, as I rightly mentioned, from Monday, there's been largely most talks looking at strengthening bilateral cooperation as well as strengthening the support towards macroeconomic stability. Already, we are seeing some large agreements. We reached that level agreements for the release of $285 million as part of the IMF bailout program. It's pending executive board approval. When that particular approval comes in, that money comes in, and as well it boosts liquidity, it boosts our economy, and it helps with Bank of Ghana and the government as well as operations. But largely, Dr. Kasela Tuposin today is expected to be at the report where this morning is actually started some 10 minutes ago, where we'll be having a sub-Saharan African report where Abebe Selassie will be addressing largely the macroeconomic fundamentals that really all African economies are whether we are performing well or whether we are actually not doing so well. And so based on that particular meeting, we do believe that Dr. Kasela Tuposin will address it and will have more on that particular session.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Eja, being my colleague who is currently in Washington, D.C., where the IMF meetings are ongoing. Still in business, fuel prices are expected to go down at the pumps from Thursday, October 16, 2025. This comes as global crude oil prices decline and the Ghana cedi strengthens against the US dollar. According to the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, petrol prices are projected to drop by up to 4.15% per litre, bringing the pump price to about 13 cedis 93 pesos, down from 14 cedis 52 pesos. Diesel is also expected to reduce by 2.08 and 4.10%, selling at around 14 cedis 56 pesos, down from 15 cedis 17 pesos. And liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) is expected to record the highest drop of up to 4.46%. The chamber attributes the downward adjustment to a fall in global crude oil prices and the appreciation of the cedi from 12 cedis 40 pesos to 12 cedis 25 pesos to the dollar, representing a 1.21% gain in value. Now, as part of efforts to curb fraudulent and unregulated practices in the real estate industry, the Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, is calling on stakeholders to collaborate in promoting transparency, accountability and fairness in real estate transactions. According to the minister, the sector is implementing targeted policies and regulatory measures to restore integrity, enhance governance, and rebuild public confidence in the real estate space. Take a look at this report.
The National Real Estate Stakeholders Engagement Conference brought together key players in the real estate industry to discuss reforms, curb fraud, and promote transparency across the sector. The conference, organized by the Real Estate Agency Council, assembled regulators, developers, brokers, investors, and other industry players to chart a unified course for a more credible and sustainable real estate agency. The Chief Executive Officer for the Council, Emmanuel Jeffrey, explained that the engagement aims to develop a comprehensive framework to make Ghana a beacon of hope in the real estate industry.
LI has not been passed. So what we are doing now is we noticed that you cannot push an LI without a stakeholders engagement. So that's what we're doing. And this is part of what we're doing here today to ensure that we pick up all the bits and pieces from all the associations in terms of brokers, agents, and all that to ensure that we don't just pass an LI that doesn't benefit everybody. We have to do an all-inclusive stakeholder to come up with a very comprehensive LI to ensure that Ghana become a beacon of hope.
The Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, Kenneth Gilbert J, speaking on the theme, strengthening real estate regulations through stakeholder engagement and collaboration, emphasized that the passage of the Real Estate Agency Act 2020 was only the first step, stressing the importance of effective implementation.
Under our oversight, REAC has made commendable progress in putting this law into action. The required legislative instrument to provide full operational effect of the law is currently in advanced draft form and will soon be presented to Parliament for consideration. Notwithstanding this, it is important to know that regulations alone cannot address all the complex challenges we face in the sector. We must move forward through strategic partnerships and collective experience to strengthen the real estate industry.
The Chief Executive Officer of Star Assurance Company Limited, Boatema Bafwewa, described the stakeholders' engagement as timely, noting that while the sector's growth presents enormous opportunities, it also introduces new environmental, technological, financial, and operational risk that must be collectively managed.
At Star Assurance, we view insurance as a bridge between risk and resilience. Through our different product offerings, such as construction and building insurances, as well as professional indemnity, we help developers and investors safeguard their projects, protect their assets, and strengthen financial credibility, and ensuring business continuity even in the face of uncertainty. We also uphold governance and integrity. The real estate sector is a potential target for financial crime, and we align with Ghana's AML and CFT's frameworks through rigorous KYCs and compliances, building investor confidences and transparency.
Council also revealed plans to digitize its operations, enabling citizens to verify licensed real estate operators online, a move aimed at curbing fraudulent activities and improving transparency in the industry.
Butchers at the Bupela slaughterhouse are blaming the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly for lack of investment, resulting in the abattoirs in sanitary conditions and poor infrastructure. They explained the terrible condition of the place drives away customers. Our Northern Regional Correspondent Noah Nash reports.
The Bupela Abattoir is situated near the main community dam, which provides water to the residents of Bupela and its Zongo community during the ongoing Tamale water crisis. The temporary stalls, which were constructed approximately 15 years ago, have deteriorated significantly. The protective nets that were originally installed to prevent pests from accessing the building have become worn and compromised, allowing swarms of houseflies to contaminate the meat displayed for sale. The butchers are increasingly concerned as they encounter great challenges in maintaining hygiene standards amid these insanitary conditions. During a visit by Northern Regional Correspondent Noah Nash, the butchers articulated their daily challenges and expressed their need for assistance. They implored both the District Assembly and government officials to take immediate and effective measures to enhance public health. The butchers underscored the necessity for a modern, well-equipped facility designed to facilitate safe and sanitary meat handling practices. Addressing this issue is crucial not only for the protection of their businesses, but also for the health and well-being of the community they serve.
We have a lot of challenges inside this selling room, especially we used to the fly disturb us a lot here because there is no nest to cover us inside, so the flies are disturbing us. So we are appealing to assemble to come to our aid, close the room for us so that we will not be disturbed by the flies. And secondly, if there is rain, we all have to go back home. After that we come back, all inside all here with water.
The condition is not good, and the tables in here too, where we slaughter, is not good, and inside here too. So we need support to renovate here. That's why people don't want to pay the tax. So we need support to help us to renovate here.
The chairman for the Buipela Butchers Association, Alhaji Al Hassan, explained to the news team that a lack of funding has delayed the process because the assembly could not support itself.
Several calls on the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly for renovation have not yielded any results due to lack of funding. Now we are hearing that some funding has been made available. We only hope that the authorities will act in time to salvage the situation. We battle with floods and other harsh conditions affecting our business. We need urgent intervention.
The Tamale Mayor, Alhaji Abu Takoro, acknowledged that the concerns raised by the butchers are valid. He mentioned that the Assembly is developing a comprehensive proposal to improve both the Buipela and main abattoir. He also revealed that he requires some time to secure financial support for these two projects.
And that's it for Business News.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Many thanks for joining me here on Sports Brief. I am Monica Bukari. Now, Black Stars and AS Monaco defender Mohamed Salisu says although he hasn't been a regular starter for his club this season, the few matches he's played have helped him maintain his fitness. How is club football going for you and fans?
Not really bad. Recently, I've not been playing, but recently I'm involved with like some games, so it's good for me and for my match fitness, and I think it's the right time. I played 2 games before the international break, and that made me even like more confident and to play this game today.
Men's football and the maiden edition of Under-17 Girls Championship exploded with goals and standout performances on match day 1. In Group B, Upper West Region beat Western Region 3-1 thanks to a brace from Sylvia, while Eastern Region edged Greater Accra 1-0 through a lone penalty from Vivian Asari. Over in Group A, Central Region secured a slim 1-0 win over Ashanti Region, with Alberta AJ scoring the decider and picking up the MVP. The Volta Region wrapped up the day with a thrilling 2-1 victory against Northern Region. Poso Baby netting twice to claim the most valuable player.
We never give up. We press on and we were able to get a win. This is our first game, and we know we've done a whole lot of mistakes. So we are just going there to listen to the coaches for them to do corrections, and coming back, we work on those corrections and come and deliver more. and better than this game. I was expecting a win.
Now, the Central Region head coach Selassie Pentem has applauded his girls for putting up their best foot forward to win 1-0 against Ashanti Region in the opening game of the Under-17 Girls Championship in Pram Pram.
I think my girls were a little bit slow in the game, but they gave us a very tough opposition and we give them that credit. And I applaud my girls for the fighting spirit, and we picking the 3 points. That's the most important thing. So we pick it from here. One game at a time, but it's my hope that we will lift the ultimate at the end of the day. But we are going to tackle it one game at a time. It's a very great initiative from the FA. We commend them for this great initiative. We hope that the coming years it will be better than, because this is the first edition. So we're hoping for better tournaments going forward. And it gives opportunity to young players all over the country to come exhibit their talents, to be identified into the national team, and it makes the work of the scouts very easy to unearth talent for the nation. So I think we need to applaud the FA for this initiative.
And that's all for now, but do join us at 12:45 as we bring you the launch of the SAC Volleyball Championship right here in the studios of GHOne TV. My name is Monica Bukari. Back to you, Serwaa.
On the international front, the body of Kenya's former Prime Minister and longtime opposition leader Raila Odinga arrived in Nairobi today to a massive emotional welcome, signaling the beginning of a national period of mourning for a man who profoundly shaped the country's democracy. The plane carrying Odinga's remains landed at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport just before 10 a.m. Thousands of Kenyans had gathered at the tarmac, waving flags, singing the national anthem and chanting the name of the leader they lovingly called Baba. The atmosphere That's it for the news. Thank you very much for your time. The news team will be back at 6:30 with News Tonight. I am Serwaa Amihere. Have a good afternoon.